How does that happen? I'm just sitting here marveling at this big gaping hole in the side of the Super Nintendo here. How does that happen? And that. Did you hear that? This thing sounds like a maraca. I'm always blown away, especially when I get an eBay thing that comes in the mail, and it just, I can't imagine what people do with these things. I mean, I'll be the first to admit that I'm one of the most obsessive people around about the condition of my Nintendo stuff, but something like this just has to have been deliberate. But anyway, griping aside, that's not why I'm making this video. The reason I'm making this video has to do with the Famicom. And I commented before I was a little bit excited that I had gotten this caddy for the disk system and Famicom, and it's a nice idea in theory, but you need the jaws of life to get this thing open. So unless you're gonna bring it somewhere, like to a friend's house or something, and you don't want to deal with two pieces of equipment, it's not really necessary. If your system's just gonna sit up there, no caddy necessary, especially given how hard it is to take apart. But anyway, the reason I'm making this video is I took the Famicom out of the caddy, and I noticed that it's by a company called Santen. And this thing looks identical to a Nintendo Famicom. And I have another one right here. I bought this Famicom in this box here. And this Famicom in the box didn't come in the box. The Famicom that came in this box, I'm struggling with this, hang on. There we go. The Famicom that came in this box was this one up here. But I bought this one for cheap. It was loose, no AC adapter, no nothing, because I wanted to swap out the controller. As you guys know, the Famicom has hardwired controllers on a very short cord, rendering it useless if you're going to put it up high, because the cord just will not reach all the way over to the futon. So what I thought would be a cool idea is to take an NES controller, which I did, take off the shell, because the boards are similar, they're identical inside. All you got to do is swap out the board. And what I did was take an NES controller, the innards that is, and put them inside a Famicom controller shell. And the result is a Famicom controller that can plug into any NES port. So you could use it on the Famicom AV, the NES2, or the regular NES. And you get that feel like you're playing a Famicom game. So I thought that was pretty cool. But anyway, okay, another sidetrack, sorry. The reason I'm getting this Famicom out is because I wanted to do a comparison. I'm struggling again, hang on. There we go. Alright, so the one in my hand, despite the fact it now has an NES controller on it, is by Nintendo. So it's got the Family Computer logo, Family Computer, Nintendo. This one I just got in the box, Family Computer by Santen. I'm looking at the front. It's got the stickers. I'm assuming they say the same thing. The characters seem to match up. I've already told you guys about the differences between the controllers. I'll use controller 2, for example, because it's the only one that the other one has on it. It's got what I'm still assuming are going to be turbo for A and B buttons. And then this one, for the official Nintendo one, doesn't have any of that. I noticed when you flip it over, the bottom, of course, is different now. And they put some stickers over one of the screw holes for evidence of tampering, which, okay, somebody has tampered with this one, so that makes me doubt even further that it's going to work, but we'll see. But then the most important thing, the side-by-side comparison, was the back. The official Nintendo one has the AC adapter, the TV versus game switch, and the channel 1 and channel 2 switch, and then the RF out. This is the only way to get audio and video out of this system. This new one that I just got in the box has the AC adapter, no game versus TV selector. It's got an audio out, like I said, you're going to have to split. It's got the video out, and then it's got the RF. So That's interesting. I have no idea what Santen is or what region this version of the console was intended for. But those are just some more variations. I'm still going to test it and see if it works. I have noticed that the eject button does not work. I've had these apart before, and I know that there's a spring in there, obviously, that makes it so that it comes back into place. But it could be fixed. But the eject button is not necessary for it to work. But I'll be interested to see if this family computer system does work. The disk system, oddly enough, it had batteries in it, which gives me a slight bit of hope that it's going to work, because why would you leave batteries in it if it didn't work? That's just my hope. We'll see. This thing is legit. It looks exactly like the bottom of my other disk system that I have. So, we will see. There it is. Sorry, I just can't get over this. How does this happen? Especially on the Super Nintendo. I don't know if you ever had one of these apart before, but the Super Nintendo, in my opinion, is just the most robust and solid piece of video game equipment in existence. I don't know if you ever had one of these apart before, but especially this area right here, there's just layer upon layer of plastic pieces for the eject button and the cartridge flap. And like, that's a layered piece, that's a layered piece. There's more inner workings inside for the power switch, for this little tab to come forward over here. So how this happens on such a robust piece of equipment, I have no idea. But I guess I just got to get over it. Maraca.